Hi everyone, we're back with part 5. It's getting closer. I'm sure you can all see your projects coming together, and I hope you're all having a good time with these videos. Where we left off was when we added a few of our window photo mats, okay, such as this one here, this one here. We also created a slot pocket with a reinforced piece of cardstock, which also doubles as a nice detail for our projects. So there's the window mat that we did and this window mat that we did here. What we're going to do now is another window mat style. However, this one has a flap that attaches to the inside of this middle pocket that we created. And just to give you a visual of what that all looks like before it's all decorated is this piece right here. So we attached our slot pocket, our large window photo mat on this side. Now we're going on to the inside of this piece, and this is where we're going to attach our flap window photo mats, okay? And hopefully that's making a little sense to you right now, okay? So I wanted to give you something that you can see before all of the decorating, okay? So you can see where you are in this process. All right, so let's get to it. To create the window photo mats with the flap, okay, you're going to need two pieces that measure 5 by 7. And then we're also going to go ahead and wrap this one up and create these two library pockets that you see right here. And for that, you're going to need two pieces that measure 9 by 4.5. Okay, so two pieces, 9 by 4.5, and then two pieces at 5 by 7. And you definitely want to write these measurements down. There will be some scoring and all that good stuff now. But before we get to prepping those pieces, I want to address a few of the questions or comments that were left on YouTube. One of the comments was in reference to these score lines that you see here, okay? If you do not mat over this, you're going to see those score lines. So perhaps this individual wanted to leave it at the cardstock only and mat here. So she made a comment to these score lines right here. That's a very simple fix. As opposed to scoring, all right, all you have to do is use a pencil and a ruler. So let me show you, darlings. Okay, you want to go ahead, and as opposed to scoring at a ½ inch on all 4 sides, all you have to do is create a pencil mark at a ½ inch on all 4 sides. Okay, pencil mark, ½ inch. Pencil mark, ½ inch. Okay, so like I always say, there's some things that I can live with and some things that I can't. This one I can live with because I'm matting over it, and I'm okay with that. But if you want to take advantage of this beautiful red cardstock or whatever color cardstock you're using, you create the pencil mark, okay, and then you grab your craft knife, okay, and you remove the sections as we talked about, right? Except that you're gonna cut on your pencil marks, just like so. Oh, and I went crooked. Sorry. You're going to cut on your pencil marks. And over here. And on another short side to create that little window that we want. And here. So that leaves you with the same exact thing. All right? Same exact thing, except that you don't have the score line to fold. So what do you do then after that? You're going to grab your scoring tool, and you're going to score on that pencil mark. That's it. So remember, don't bring it all the way up. You want to start at your pencil mark in that groove and score. And that's it. And you want to make sure you're right at that ½ inch, because if not, it's not going to line up with the grooves in your scoring tool. So that's it. That's all there is to it. And if you're going to do the other style, you're going to do the same exact thing. Okay? So that's one question. And of course, you want to be on the side that does not have the pencil marks. And then you apply your tape and you stick it down exactly the same way. Okay? Now, for another comment that I want to address here. For the slot pocket, there was another lady, I believe it's a lady, because now, you know, we've got tons of scrapping guys. So I believe it was a lady that left a comment about the the slot pocket that she does it with, let's see, with punching holes at either end. And that was something that I was addressing with the reinforcement that I am doing with you all. Because way back in the summer, I created a mini album that I designed around slot pockets. Everything was all about the slot pocket. All right, so there were concerns about the slot pocket not being, let's see, not being sturdy. So this is what people typically do with a slot pocket. They create their cut and then they release, and what I typically do too, they release a little section right there by punching holes on either side, because what the holes do is prevent the paper from splitting. So if you look at my YouTube videos, you'll see, I think it was a Tropical Travelogue mini album, the Graphic 45 project that I did, that completely revolved around slot pockets, all right? But this is improved. I improved it. And I improved it by adding the reinforcement, which also doubles as a decorative element, all right? So that's what that's all about. So when you put this reinforcement there, you do not have to punch the holes on either side. And it gives you a completely different look. It doesn't look so office-like, okay? When you punch the holes on either side, it looks like what is like an office type of slot where you see on envelopes and things like that. All right, so that's what the reinforcement does. It gives you a sturdier piece and it gives you a decorative element. So hopefully you understand the method to my madness on that one. So let's move on, guys, to finishing up this project. So we're going to need our scoring board, okay? And we're going to start off with the library pocket. So you're going to need the 9-inch pieces. Grab your scoring board. Alrighty. And you're going to score on the 9-inch side, I'd like you to score at 4 inches. Like so. Then I'd like you to rotate that onto the 4.5-inch side and score at 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. All right, let's do it one more time. On the 9-inch side, I'd like you to score at 4 inches. Then I'd like you to rotate onto the 4.5-inch side and score at 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. Now that we have our scoring board out, we might as well prep these pieces. So what I'd like you to do first is score this piece, place this piece on your scoring board on the 5-inch side, and I'd like you to score at 1 inch, okay? Score at 1 inch. I'm going to continue doing mine scoring. For those of you who prefer not to do the scoring and do the pencil, you just do yours in pencil marks, okay? Then the next score line will be at 1.5 inches, okay? 1.5 inches. Then I'd like you to rotate and score at 1/2 inch, rotate, 1/2 inch, rotate, 1/2 inch. Okay, let's do that one more time. So you're going to have your little block in the center here like you would, and if you fold on that 1-inch line, you'll see that you're left with the frame that we're typically working with, and then you have a flap to actually attach this piece. So we scored at 1 inch, right? Now I'd like you to score at 1/2 inch. Now I want you to rotate, 1/2 inch, okay, and 1/2 inch. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Now we're going to go ahead and prep these pieces further. Now for these, what we're going to do is cut on 3 sides. 2 long sides, 1 short side. No, does that open that way? Which way this opens? Let's double check before I get cut happy. Let's see. Oh yeah, they do open like this. So you have a choice, my friends. You can have it open like this or like a book, you know, like we did the other one. But I'm going to continue on with my design here, with my original design, and I'll have them both open like this. If you want, you can have one open like this and one open like a book. Okay, that's entirely up to you. So let's get to it. So let's grab our ruler because I do not have a steady hand. Oh, and you also want to be conscious of your flap in this case. Your flap in this case should be on the right hand side. It really doesn't matter because I'm using plain cardstock and there's really no direction here. But let's just focus here and let's make sure that that flap is on the right hand side, okay? Because you want to remove this short side, not this short side, okay? Because if not, your piece will open backwards. All right, so let's go ahead and cut 2 short, 2 long, 1 short. Having a serious problem with that. 2 long, all right, 1 short. Let me keep on saying that to myself so I don't forget. And 1 short. So remember, we're only cutting in the frame, okay, only in the frame. And that goes like that, and you fold on your score line. And you have your nice little flap intact. Now let's do that again. One more time. We're going to cut on 2 long and 1 short. And here we go. Let's see. And cutting. And cutting one more time. Okay, great. So we've got those 2 pieces all, oopsie, let's gotta actually cut all the way down. All right. So notice that I rather stop short than to cut into the portion of the frame that I don't need to. Okay, so now fold. I got a little bit of a catch on there that I should probably cut out right now. See that I got a little bit of an extra cardstock, so let's just remove that. Okay, there. All right, that's looking pretty spiffy. Now what I'd like you to do is flip it over and apply double-sided tape. So if this is the side that you want to show, right? So you want to apply your tape to this side. Alrighty. So let's get some double-sided tape here. And you could have done a 1/2 inch flap, but I want to make sure that it's in there really well. So that's why I went with the flap that's 1 inch. Okay. But again, it's just design preferences, and this is my preference. So my flap is opening this way, it's attaching to my piece like this, so I want to apply my tape to the flap on that side. And I'm using 1/2 inch tape and a strip of 1/4 inch tape, just so I have really good tape coverage. All right, so this is what that looks like with the tape. And it actually gets applied like this. So we've got these 2 pieces done. Let's put these to the side. And now we're going to play with these pieces right here. So what I'd like you to do first is grab your scissors or your craft knife, either or, and at the intersection, I want you to remove it. Cut a little triangle into the intersection. So you're going to cut at an angle on either side of that score line, and you're going to remove that little section. So essentially you're cutting on the score line and tapering in one shot. All right, otherwise you will cut on the score line and then taper and then taper. So you essentially achieve the same thing in one shot. All right, do the same thing to the other one. Cut a little triangle piece and remove that section. And that's it. Okay, now we're going to get some tape. What I'd like you to do is fold. You're going to have a short side and a long side. I'd like you to fold the flaps on the short side. And I'd like you to apply double-sided tape to these flaps in the folded position, as you see right here, okay, in the folded position. Now what I'd like you to do is remove these flaps right here, and you're going to do that with your ruler. Okay, so you're going to cut on that score line and remove that flap. And sometimes it helps to use a metal ruler with some cork backing to do this, so it doesn't slip and slide, because sometimes for me it slides. So you know, you benefit from having both rulers. if you have that problem of sliding like I do. Okay, so it's up to you guys, but just if you have this ruler, you want to hold down firmly so your ruler doesn't slide, so you can get a nice straight edge. Okay, so once you get that, you remove those flaps, excuse me, or you cut them off. See that? You remove those two flaps. Now what you want to do is remove the tape backing, and you're going to want to fold. Come on, I have two rulers here. You're going to want to fold up and form the pocket. And there you have a basic library pocket, okay? Just very, very basic. And you can use this for all other projects, whether it be this size or whatever size you want to create. It's very simple. 3 score lines and you're done. What I like to do with my library pockets is round my corners, okay? And I'm using my poor chomper that's missing a wing. All right, you're going to want round those corners and you get a completely different look. If you want to mat this pocket, I encourage you to mat it after you assemble the pocket, and I will explain why I do it that way, okay? But for now, let's get the second one done that we need. All right, so we're going to fold on the flaps located on the short side of the cardstock. Then we're going to apply tape to the flaps in the folded position. Okay, very simple. Then we're going to remove the flaps located on the wider side of the cardstock. And you want to do that with a ruler unless you've got a super duper steady hand and you can freehand that. All right, but you definitely want to use a ruler if your hand is a little shaky. So let's go ahead and line that up and remove it. Okay, now what you want to do is fold and remove the tape backing and fold. So there you have it. Super duper simple 2 library pockets for your project. And let's round our corners just like so. Okay, now to mat these pieces. I did not mat mine in my original project, but I just want to talk about matting inside of a pocket, okay? So if you grab this tag and if you mat before you assemble your pocket, your tags are always going to get caught on those flaps there, all right? If you mat after you assemble your pocket pages, period, all right, what you get is, I'll show you. So this finished size is, a nice mat for that would be 3 1/4, and I'm going to bring it down about 2 inches. Let's go for the 2 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut some cardstock here to size. All right, 2 inches by 3 1/4, and I'm going to do that twice because I want my pockets to be the same. Okay, and you're going to mat right over the flaps, okay? But like we have a rounded motif here, so we definitely want to round our mat. All right. And when I say mat, I mean to cover the area with pattern paper, okay? And I'm getting very detailed in this video because we have a lot of new scrapbookers, and we have to think about them when we're doing tutorials and not assume that people know what we're talking about. All right, so you want to round your corners. You want to apply a little wet glue or ATG tape, whatever your preference is. Okay, and then you want to take this little piece of paper or mat and you want to place it inside your pocket over the flaps, all right? Directly over the flaps, line it up and secure it, okay? And what that does is create a nice smooth surface with no obstruction, so you can actually fit your tag in smoothly. Look at that. See that? Look at this. Okay? Just like, look, I have to do that to get my tag in there. It's not like rocket science, but it is just makes things a lot simpler, okay, a lot easier. And I think it just adds to your design. When you have to fuss and play around with your tags to get it in your pocket, not cool. So you want to think about that when you're creating pocket pages. And in my tutorials, the ones that you find on my blog, sometimes I get emails and saying, you didn't tell us to mat before you assembled the pocket. And I'm like, well, because you mat afterwards. So that's been one of a very popular question that I get. So I figured I would cover it here, okay? And this is true to almost 95% of my pocket pages, all right? I mean, it's very, very rare that I ask you to mat before you assemble your pocket, and it's because you want to go ahead and create a nice, smooth pocket, all right? Or, you know, whatever you want to call it, okay? So that's it. That's a little 101 on matting. And now we've got this piece done, we got this piece done, so guess what? We're ready to attach it to our project. So let's grab the project here. And let me get all these tools out of the way so I don't have to knock them all over. And I'm feeling a little bit parched here, and I don't have any water. We may be cutting this video short, guys. All right, so let's get to our page where we need to be. And we need to be right here on this inside page. Oh, excuse me, right here. Over here we form the L pockets. And I'll explain that in a minute. Okay. So, you don't have to worry about matting this piece here or covering it with pattern paper just yet, because these pockets go on the inside. Okay? On the inside. And I may have to do a little bit maneuvering here because I just realized I made a little faux pas. I created my pockets for my flats for going onto the left-hand side as opposed to the right-hand side, creating a mirror image. But that is a very, very easy fix. All right, I'm just flipping my mat this way, and I'm going to put my tape on here, and I'm going to pry my tape off of this side. So it's actually a good thing that this is happening, because this will happen to you all. And guess what? It won't, because I'm doing it all for you. I am doing it all for you. Sometimes I just don't think I tell you. I don't think. So, boo-boo numero dos. All right? Boo-boo number 2. All right. So the nice thing about score tape, and I will do this after the video, but the nice thing about score tape is that you can actually kind of pry it off. See this? If you get a good corner going, you can actually peel it off before it gets really stuck to there. See? With virtually very, very little damage. Let's see what happens here. I mean, it's kind of weird that you can do this because this thing has so much sticky power, but it does allow you to do that with, you know, at the very, you know, I guess at the beginning before it gets to that really good sticky action. So I'm just going to remove this one to show you, and then maybe I won't be so lucky with this one, and then I'll do the other one later. Maybe I should remove the backing first. Let's see if that makes any difference. So, see, not too much damage. That flap goes on the inside, so it's totally okay. Alrighty, let me get this little piece off too. Nobody breathe. Let's see if I can get this little piece off. Come on, come to mama. Alright. That wasn't too bad. Nice. Oh, come on, one more. Okay, good. Goody, goody, goody. Alright, so let me go ahead and stick this one inside. What I did was I centered it to the, I didn't actually flush it to the top and the other one to the bottom. I actually just did a little bit of, I think it was 3/4 of an inch from the top and 3/4 of an inch from the bottom, and I secured them, okay? But it's just eyeballing. If you prefer to flush it all the way to the top, I say go ahead. You know, it's your project. You customize it to your liking, of course. And you want to open up the pocket, and you want to insert the flap position it where you want it, and then secure it. Okay, just that simple. And you want to grab your bone folder and reinforce that crease so your flap actually closes. All right. A lot of people say, Kathy, you are so calm even after you make a boo-boo. Why? Because it's just a piece of paper and I could just cut another one, you know. I don't have a problem with that. So now let's get the other one in there. Okay. So let me make sure I'm removing the right tape. Good grief. So here we go. Here we go. Let's get to it. And about 3/4 of an inch up. Come on. I do not bring my cardstock all the way to the crease, okay? You want to keep in mind that you need this project to close, okay? You need this to close, so you want to kind of eyeball where this piece is going. Alrighty? And now your library pockets. Oh, my cardstock got stuck to my little thing right there. Okay. So now your library pockets are going to get glued. Where did I glue those? Oh, on the inside. So they get glued right here. Now you want to mat. Okay? So let's mat. I glued these pockets on without instruction, and I want to let you all know that you want to make sure that when you're gluing your flaps on, that you're not, see the fold of the frame, that you're not actually flushing it with the file folder, because this frame is wider than the file folder. And I did this so you can actually have more room for photographs and all of that good stuff. All right, so you want to make sure you position your frame over your file folder and that you have plenty of clearance from this fold right here. Okay, otherwise it's not going to fold properly. Your frame is going to get crushed. All right, so sorry about that. I just started getting happy crafting and gluing things on without instruction. So now we're going to go ahead and mat this right here. Okay, so to mat, you want to mat from the file folder. Okay, you don't want to bring it up all the way up there. So I was removing the tape and I made a mess out of that, but that's all right because I'm going to cover it all up. So for your measurement here, 3 3/4 inches is more than enough. So let me grab my paper trimmer, and I'm going to use this really fun paper right here. Just got all sorts of Christmas sentiments. So 3 3/4 by our constant, which is the length of the frame, which is 11 5/8 of an inch. Okay, but I'm going to go with 11 1/2 just to bring it a little bit under. So now I'm going to go ahead and distress this a little bit. Okay, it's really kind of matches with the paper next to it, but breaks up all that pattern with all of these nice sentiments here. Most of this gets covered up because we're going to glue our library pockets directly on this piece right here. Okay, and obviously you notice I covered the notch. I made the notch during assembly, which was before I decided what I was going to do with all of this, you know, with all of the design. Okay, so now let's apply some wet glue or whatever your preference is, some adhesive. And I like to get good coverage on my pattern paper so everything looks nice and neat. And bring it all, I suggest you bring it all the way to the edge of that file folder and then stick it down. Okay, like that. Nice. Okay, and then for this back side, what makes everything all nice and stable on this piece, because it's just hanging there, you're going to need 2 pieces of cardstock that measure 6 3/4 inches by, let's see, I think it's 3 3/4, but let's be sure. Yep, 6 3/4 by 3 3/4 inches. I'm going to use white cardstock. Let me show you what I'm talking about. is this right here. See this white mat right here? But you can use pattern paper. You can use a green colored cardstock. I wish I had green cardstock. That would have been fun too. So let me grab a piece of white cardstock and go for it. So we've got 6 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches right here, and one more because we have 2 of these, and let's stick these down. Okay, now the adhesive on here is most definitely strategic, guys. Okay, so you want to pay attention to that. You don't want to glue this flap down, so you want to make sure that you apply your adhesive around the perimeter of your pattern paper, your mat, or around the perimeter of the frame. Okay, I think I prefer to go around the perimeter of the frame, and you can most definitely do this before you attach your frame to your paper as well, to your project as well. I think it'll be a lot easier, but I got a little bit ahead of myself, as always. Okay, that's it. Oh, get some up there. Didn't do too good on that side. Okay, and stick this piece down. Nice and centered. All right. So hopefully I answered some of the questions that you guys had in the comments section. Okay, and if you have any questions, always feel free to leave me a comment, and I will most definitely address it in the following video. Okay, if it's something pressing, then I'll address it beforehand, but typically I like to address comments in the video. And there you have it. And see what a difference that mat makes on the back. Look at how sturdy this piece is now, and look at this thing flip-flopping all over the place. So again, reinforcing with your bone folder that crease. And of course, when we mat over the frame and we mat over the flap, it's just going to make everything nice and sturdy. So let's go ahead and attach the second one. Okay, yep, that fits perfectly. And apply a little wet glue around the perimeter of your frame, really close to the score lines, okay, to the center fold here, okay, to the center flap. Fold, flap, so many terms to remember. Okay, and oops, sorry, I'm off camera there. And right here. And let's stick this one down. And I'm already past my time once again. Here we go. But I'm sticking those library pockets down regardless of the time. So you want to make sure you get a good stick on there. You want to make sure you're not going over your frame and all that good stuff and your flap. So just be careful that you don't glue everything down. Okay, while that dries, we're going to go ahead and attach our library pockets, which just simply get glued down right there. That's it. You can glue them down on 3 sides and create yet another pocket. I mean, it's entirely up to you. I'm okay with just gluing them down to my project. All right, and just a little bit of, ink to kind of make that white paper pop a little bit. Okay. Not too much. And just grab a little bit of tape, and you can just stick this down. You can do it on 2 sides. If you're going to make this a pocket, then I recommend you use some sort of wet glue. You know, like if you glue it on 3 sides here, here, and here, and you can stick something in there. You don't want to do tape, because then your tag is going to get stuck to the tape, because this tape never really dries. Alright, and what I do with my knife, here it is. And then these, I just position them pretty much centered, following this right here. Okay, right there. And the second one, same deal. And that's it. That side is done. And then on to episode 6. And I think it's 6 and 7, and we may be done. I think. Or maybe not. We'll see. And then this one, kind of right over that one. And centered. And there you have it, guys. I just slipped my tags in there. Okay, or you can put a photo mat, and we'll see what it actually all turns out to be once I start putting my numbers in and all that good stuff. All right, and of course, once you decorate it, it just looks all pretty. And these little paper clips that I will be using throughout the project, I love these. I think I mentioned these. These are by Tim. Look, you can barely see them. They're by Tim Holtz. They're mini paper clips. I just absolutely love these things. I think I use them almost on every single project. All right, so that is what that looks like. I am going to stop this video now, but when I come back, this will all be matted. All right, and we're going to move on to the L pockets and to the you can't see it, and the pockets on the back side of the page right here, these pockets right here. All right, so I'll be back.